What's up, y'all? I'm gonna go ahead and do a live video today, just for today. I haven't done one. I can't even remember the last time I did one. I'm gonna go ahead and share this out um, to some of the groups if I can. I don't know if I can or not. Maybe I'll just share it to Jules' page. Okay, so I tagged her. She's gonna share it out for me. Um, I think the last video I did with Jewel, it was a while ago. I can't even remember when it was, but I haven't forgot about y'all, and I haven't given up either. Just so y'all know, I'm still doing me, still doing the same shit. Um, I just been real busy because we moved to Texas, so and my wife is pregnant. So needless to say, I've been doing 90% of the work by myself, um, and it was a mess. I had to. It's stupid because I moved out of 3 flights of stairs and moved into stairs. So it's been a lot on me personally. And then the first night she drove about 7 hours, um, and then the next day I drove 10 hours, and then the day after that I drove another like 7 or 8, um, and it was a lot. The drive was smooth, like anybody that if you drive once you get across the Bay Bridge and get out of that bullshit, and you drive through from like Virginia all the way like through Mississippi was nice. Um, and the drive was smooth. When you get on the highway out there, it's like nothing but it looks like a giant 301. Anybody that's from Maryland, it's real peaceful. Except you don't have to creep at 55. You can go 80 most of the way. So it was a nice drive until we got to the last 3 hours of the drive, of course, which was Texas, and it was hell. It's a nightmare. Um, I I don't understand the roads out here. It's like in town, it's not bad, but on the highway out here, it's like a fucking free for all. People are just doing what the fuck ever. Everybody's swerving in and out of lanes and shit. It's stupid. But other than that, it was alright. Um, but the point is, I just been really busy with the move, but I haven't forgotten about you guys. And we surprised Jewel and we went to the March into Recovery event. We told her we weren't going, and then we changed our mind last minute and we decided to go. So we did that. I don't really know how the event went. Um, I just kind of went to be. I just went to be there to be present because she started it with my mom, and it has a little bit of meaning to me. Um, and I'm a part of the cause. Um, I'm not as political into it as Jewel is. Like I'm not all into the newspapers and articles and talking to the. I'm not into all that, but I am a big part of it, and I'm hoping when we move back to Maryland next year, I'm hoping that we can get a recovery house going. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. I would like to start a woman's house and call it Wendy's house, and that's our dream. That's our goal. That's what we're working towards. Um, but in the meantime, we're out here, so it's been busy, but you guys can expect to hear from me regularly again. Um, Not gonna do it every day, but you'll probably see me on here at least you know every couple days, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, something like that. Um, because I got some stuff I got to do while I'm out here as well. Um, it's leisure, but it's not really. We got stuff to do while we're out here too. Um, so today's just for today. The topic was I understand. It's step 7. Anybody that's familiar with step 7. Jewel, did you share this out to the groups? Um, Mainly I think it's the clean and sober group. I think that's the one I like the most, or that's the one I see the most shit on. I don't really pay attention to the rest of them. Um, so anyway, so the topic is I understand, and it's basically talking about um, understanding your character defects and starting the process of removing those character defects. Um, so basically, that's what the topic of just for today was. I don't have the book, so I just kind of look at the topic and then I just kind of, freestyle off the topic. So, um, character defects, let's get into it. So, when we last spoke, or when you last, saw me, um, I figured out one of my character defects that I didn't remove, something that was left hidden that I ignored, and it caused me to relapse. So, we already talked about that. I'm not going to dig too deep into the relapse part. Um, Basically, I was coming up on, I was getting real close to 2 years sober, which is big for me. I mean, the most I ever went was like 9 months, I think, and that was really the only time I ever really got sober, since I was about like 15 or whatever. So basically, um, you know, the character defect that I discovered in that was, I kind of do everything for everybody else. I guess you could say I'm like a people pleaser. I can come off like an asshole a lot of times, just the way I carry myself and um, my persona. But um, deep down, I really like to see other people happy. I really like to, especially the people around me, especially people that are close to me or in my circle. I've always, took pride in being the rock of my family and holding everybody together. Um, and that's kind of been my MO. But as I found out, when I'm left to myself, I realized that I didn't really care about myself at all. Like me personally, it's like I realized that I don't really care about myself. Hence the fact that I was so self-destructive for so many years. You know what I mean? I would do anything. I didn't give a shit about the consequences. I didn't care about who I hurt in the process. I didn't care about all the shit that I was putting myself through in the process of drinking and being drunk all the time and just not giving a fuck. And the more I fed into that, and the more I didn't give a fuck, the more I really didn't give a fuck, to the point where even when I was sober, I didn't give a fuck. And on the outside, it might have appeared to everyone on the outside looking in like, Joe just don't give a fuck about anything outside of him. But the truth was, I didn't really give a fuck about myself. Um, so that was the most important thing. And when I didn't give a fuck about myself, in turn, it kind of splattered out onto everybody else. Me not taking care of myself and me not you know um, trying to better myself, it just kind of trickled down onto everybody else that was around me, and they felt it. And it was like I realized, like, hey, I gotta have some value for myself too. I gotta care about myself too. I can't put everybody else ahead of me, um, because how can I toe the line if I'm pushing everybody ahead of me and I'm in the back? You know what I mean? Um, and I've just kind of always been that type of guy. I've always been the play the background type of dude. I never wanted to be uh, fucking with a lot of people, or I didn't really want to be in anybody's circle or fucking with a whole lot of people. I've always just played the background, and um, in turn, it kind of left me last place all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm always um, behind everybody, pushing everybody ahead of me that I'm around, and then when it's all said and done, I'm sitting here assed out. I'm just sitting here uh, drunk, fucked up, and left with nothing. For myself. And we have to remember that, save some for yourself too. Look out for yourself too. Take care of yourself too. Care about your well-being too. Don't just worry about everybody else's around you, and you're sitting here dying on the inside. And the more you give away, the less you have, until you're just empty. You know what I mean? Don't empty yourself out all the time for everybody else. It may seem like it's the noble thing to do, but I don't see any nobility in dying. I don't see any nobility in you know, drinking your life away, drinking your pain and your miseries away. I just don't see any nobility in that. No matter how far you push your friends ahead, no matter how far you push your circle ahead, you still gotta stay in front. You still gotta if you're going to tote the line, you still got to be in the front. You got to stay in the front. You can't play in the back and push everybody forward. Because you just, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure, and that's one of the things that I had to learn over the years, and it's something that I learned this last go around. Um, I'm creeping back up on 3 months. Um, Ideally, by the time I come home, by the time I come back to Maryland, I'll have a year and 3 months. Um, so I'll be right back on pace to where I was when I left. Um, and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not worrying about the future right now. I'm just trying to stay present, trying to stay in the here and now. Um, and that was the character flaw that I felt like I left. Um, I held on to. Um, and I think it's just because um, it was just such a part of me. All the other shit I could do fine. All the other defects like um, people, places, and things, and all the other defects like um, you know, reminiscing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to get sober, all of a sudden, all those good memories are the only ones in your brain, and all the hard shit that you went through is now funny because you made it out. But it wasn't funny when you were going through it, and we kind of forget that. So we sit around and we reminisce until we relapse, and that's what a lot of people end up doing. It might be a sunny day. I don't know what your deal is, but um, being a drinker, it could be the first really nice spring day, and it's a nice little breeze, but it's like 70 degrees, and you remember sitting under the shade tree with all your boys and drinking beer all day, listening to music, whatever the hell you used to do, and it just like you get that flashback, and that can be a big thing for people as far as that goes. So I don't worry about that shit. I'm not reminiscing no more. Fuck reminiscing. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking ahead. I'm living in right now, and I'm looking ahead. My worst days are behind me, so there ain't no sense in looking back for them. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's no point in looking backwards when all the good memories are being made right now. You know, all the time I get to spend with my child, and anticipating my new child, and you know, spending time with my nephew, and spending time with my other nephew and my brother, and my sister-in-law, and so much good shit going on right now. I don't need the past. I don't need the memories. Um, and when I looked at the topic and it said I understand, it made me think about, um, understanding those around you too. I mean, yeah, it's about the character defects, so it's a personal one. Understand that these are my defects. I need to let them go, turn them over to the higher power or whatever. Um, but to me, I look at it like understand the people around you too. Understand that um, as addicts and alcoholics, we might be selfish because we're so focused on staying clean or staying sober that we become self-absorbed in our recovery, and you can't be that way because the life has to go on. Life has to go on after your recovery. You can't just be recovery, recovery, recovery. Um, yeah, recovery is like a ongoing thing. You want to recover, period. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it. It's just me. It's not maybe not for everybody to look at it that way, but that's how I look at it. I want to be done with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to wake up and not have to worry about it. And for the most part, I don't. I don't think about it. Um, that's another reason why you don't see me a lot now, because I'm not thinking about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't obsess over it anymore. Like when I used to try to get sober before, I'd obsess over it, and 2 weeks later, I'd be drunk because I put myself under so much fucking pressure because it's like this great big thing, and it's really not. It's as simple as keep busy, do shit that's productive, spend time with your family, stay the fuck out of the liquor store, you know what I'm saying, and don't think about it. Just do other shit. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? What do other people do? Just do other shit. That's why I've always been like into working out and shit since the end of high school, but that's why I'm so obsessed with it right now. That's why I got into it real heavy, because like I tell people all the time, it's free therapy. It's cheap therapy. I spend Some people pay $100 an hour to talk to a psychologist, and I pay $30 a month, and I just go in the gym and take all my frustration out in the gym. I go in there for myself. I put my music in. I don't give a fuck about who's around me, and I just go in there and do my thing. And when I walk out, I feel better. It's like, taking a shit, walking in there and just leaving all that, and then walking away from it. It's all gone. Um, so it's important, to have, healthy, productive things to do. Um, then by the time I get done my workout, I get home and I'm ready to chill out. I'm burnt out. I've, exerted myself to the max, and I go home and I want to eat. I want to, chill with my daughter for a little bit, spend some time with her, talk to my wife a little bit, and then I'm ready to call it a day. I might watch a show or something, and that's it. Um, so just try to be understanding, not only of yourself but of those around you, um, because they waited all. Think about the people that's been waiting on you to get clean, and all the people that's been waiting on you to get sober. Um, think about that. You know what I'm saying? They've been waiting on you for so long to clean your shit up, and now they finally have you. Don't forget about them. Don't neglect them. Don't skip from being addicted to the drug or the alcohol to being addicted to recovery so much that you're still neglecting your family. You know what I mean? Make sure that they're incorporated in your recovered lifestyle. Make sure that you don't forget about them. Make sure that you're spending time with them. Um, I understand your recovery has to be first, but just make sure that you're not forgetting your family in the process, and you're not carrying over that same personality. You got to change your personality a little bit, and it takes time. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. It takes time to get used to it, to get comfortable. Um, but I'm comfortable. I'm just at that age where I don't really care about drinking that much anymore. It's not that exciting to me anymore like it used to be. As a matter of fact, like the night I relapsed and I drank, it was a one night thing. I drank, I woke up, I was like, well, that was fucking stupid. And I just picked myself up and said, not doing that again. And I made a video immediately after so I could kind of talk out my feelings and figure out, like, why did this happen to me? I was doing so good. And I found out why, and I moved on from it. I learned something from it, and I moved on from it. Um, I see a lot of people debate about, is recovery a part of, is relapse a part of your recovery? I don't know. Is it? If you've relapsed, then yeah, it is. If you haven't, then no, it isn't. It's that simple. I don't understand the need to fucking debate about. We shouldn't be telling people that relapse is a part of their recovery. Who gives a fuck? That's their recovery. It's not yours. Focus on your shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about somebody else's recovery. Worry about your own. If they've relapsed and they said it's a part of their recovery, and they think it just happens to be a part of recovery, that's their business. You know what I mean? So just think about it. Yeah, you're right. Without recovery, um, everybody needs some sort of recovery. That's true. I'm just saying, make sure your family's incorporated. Make sure your family doesn't get neglected again because they've been waiting on you. If you have family, if not, then do your thing. Whatever works for you. Just make sure that um, you're moving on with your life too. Um, think about it for yourself too. Think about what you could have been had you not gone down that pathway. Think about who you were supposed to be and start being that person. You got a lot of ground to make up. I know I did. And in that, 20 months or whatever when I was sober, I was busting my ass and I was doing everything I could, you know? Um, so just make sure. I always stress to people, I don't debate about recovery uh, and relapse, is it a part of it or not? Because honestly, who cares? Um, I just always say if you do relapse, let's be proactive here, because people are gonna relapse whether we think it's a part of your recovery or not. Um, if you do relapse, don't go on a fucking bender. You know what I'm saying? Don't go on a binge. Just get up in that next 24 hours, shake your shit off, and go do something else. Go to a meeting. Go to rehab if you got to. Call somebody that actually cares about you and will talk you off the ledge. Um, let's do it that way. because it's less harmful if you get your ass back on your shit within 24 hours instead of, you know, I drank last night, fuck it, it's over. You know, that old doom and gloom type shit. And then you're drinking again and again and again and again, or drugs, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter what it is. Um, and then you're on a downward spiral. You may end up catching new charges, and then you got that to fucking deal with. You know, so don't add all that shit onto your plate. If you fuck up, you know, call somebody that you can be honest with and just be like, look, man, I fucked up. This is what happened. This is what I did. And get your shit back together and get right back to it within that 24-hour period. Don't drag that shit out, man. It's the result's going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? You're going to end up catching new charges, or you're going to end up hurting somebody you care about, or worse, you'll end up dead. I don't know what you're, even if you're just alcoholic like me, even if you're just a drinker. I always drank and drove. I could get in a car accident and die within that week binge that I went on. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, Greg, if you know, if your whole thing is to give back and that's what works for you, that's a hell of a way to do it. You definitely got my stamp of approval for that. That's why I said in the beginning of the video, you know, we're trying, um, we want to try to, I don't know the legality of it all, but we want to try to start our own women's house because that's what my mom wanted to do. Um, I know she had one back in the day, and when she got clean finally again, um, that was her thing. That's what she was working towards. But unfortunately, she passed away, and we're picking up the pieces, and we're gonna try to do that in her name. And it's something I like too. You know, that's why I do these videos. I'm not doing this shit just for me. I'm doing it for anybody that watches too, hoping that maybe they can get a little piece here or a piece there, and it might help them. Or if they're, you know, on that ledge, maybe it talked them down. Who knows? And like I always say, I'm an open person. If you want to message me if you're struggling or if you need something, don't hesitate to hit me up. Um, you know, I'll do my best to, you know, talk you through whatever you're going through. Um, and that's another reason why I do this, you know, because of networking. I got a lot of different friends on Facebook now just from this. People that follow me that um, I don't know them personally, but I feel like we have pretty decent relationships as far as this goes. Um, yeah, Greg, it's tough, man. Um, I lost my mom too. Like, I think it was like 2 weeks before my birthday, and it was just out of the blue. It wasn't like she was sick and we knew about it or anything like that. So it's rough. Um, but yeah, so I just try to. The biggest thing I always tell people is just make sure you replace those bad habits with good habits. For me, it's the gym. Um, I don't know what it is for you, but it could be anything. Anything that's healthy, um, that's not counterproductive. We all gotta find something. If you like working on cars, if you like animals, you can go volunteer with that. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Um, I did the volunteer thing in the beginning too, and it helped me a little bit. Um, I don't know if it's fucked up or not, but volunteering at the homeless shelter, you see people that you're not far from, that you could just be one bad night away from being. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then you see the success stories. You see people who had it worse than you turn their shit around. You know what I mean? There's a lot to be gained from it. And, whether people want to take this shit serious or not, like I said, I've never really had an issue with, um, drugs and with the epidemic that's going on, if you want to call it that. I've never really had an issue with any shit like that. I've always just been an alcoholic, but like I always tell people, it'll fuck your life up just the same. It just takes longer. It's a little bit. It beats you up longer. It's a slow kill. You know what I mean? That's the way I've always looked at it. The alcohol is a slow kill. Um, but that dope, man, that shit'll take you out. One wrong move, one bad night, and your life could be over. So, um, I focus on that more so than anything else, just because of how many people it's affecting. It just kind of blows my mind growing up in high school. That shit wasn't a thing, man. There might have been a couple kids that was doing it, but it wasn't a big thing like it is now, especially among young people. When I was coming up in school, All the young people I knew, all they wanted to do was smoke pot and drink, smoke weed and drink. That's it. I don't know when the turn came. I don't know when I don't know when it got all changed up. But who knows? Maybe maybe it's just a matter of being around it so long, and then maybe you get too fucked up and you try it one time and that's it for you. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Um, I just, I could just say I'm blessed that I never went down that pathway. But like I always tell people, one's no better than the other. You know what I'm saying? They'll both get you. One's just slower. That's all. That's the only difference. Um, and who knows? That dope could be slow for you too. Depends on the person, I guess. Um, but it's just something that we need to take serious. We don't need to argue about shit. We don't need to bicker about it. We don't need to, throw stones and point fingers and get all into, the technicalities of it. It's just a matter of let's try to come together as communities and do what we can to help this, to help alleviate this shit, get these people some help. I know a lot of the young people that I know, I can almost bet you they don't want to get help because they feel ashamed. Even though so many people know they're doing dope, they don't want to really admit it. They're afraid to admit it to themselves. Um, and I understand that shit. I, you know, the the good times of drinking for me lasted about 2 years. I spent the other, you know, 12 to 15 years trying to get control of it, trying to just get back to where it used to be. Like, man, I don't understand. I'm in control here. I don't get what's going on. I gotta get this shit under control. And I spent so many years trying to get it, trying to regain control over something that I had no control over. Once I drank, I just didn't have control anymore. I don't understand. I don't understand it, but that's just the way it was for me. I guess I was just obsessive with it, just overdoing it. Um, and I always overdid it, no matter what. So it's just not something I need to be doing. And some people can, some people can't. That's another thing that makes it hard. Um, but I don't know any people that casually shoot dope. So keep that in mind. And there's no shame in going and seeking help. The people around you are going to be more happy for you and more proud of you for going and getting help than you trying to hide it and beat around the bush about whether you have a problem or not. So just keep that in mind. Don't wait around, you know. Don't waste time, trying to hide when everybody already knows and people already know. Go get help. Treatment works. Treatment saved a lot of people. People think, see, people get like, the misconception that rehab doesn't work. And you want to know why? Because they'll see some friend or some family member go to rehab and then get out and just keep getting fucked up. Well, you have to assess every situation. Did that person go into rehab to really get help? Or did they go into rehab because they had a pending court case? Did they go into rehab because of family pressure? Everybody around them was pressuring them. Grandma and Pop Up and Mom and whoever the fuck stopped giving them money and pretty much blocked them out. So now their addiction's getting really hard. So they say, fuck it, I'll go to rehab for 30 days, get back in everybody's good graces, and then I can start bumming money and start this cycle all over again. Because I've seen that shit. I've seen people do that just for that reason. Until the person does it for them, I don't really consider them going to treatment. I don't really think you're getting any treatment because you didn't go for yourself. Um, so let's not say, treatment doesn't work just because there's so many people going for the wrong reasons. Make sure the person that you're judging going to treatment, they're going for themselves and not for anything else. Because I did the same thing. I went to rehab for court. I didn't go because I really wanted to stop drinking. But when I got there, I learned a lot of shit. But when I got out and I got done my sentence or whatever, I went right back to doing what I've always done. Because I didn't go for myself. I didn't really want to change. Um, so you just got to keep that in mind. Yeah, Greg, you're all the things that you weren't when you were using, Like we abandon our responsibilities when we're using. No matter how good we think we keep up appearances, it's like it's still broken. You know what I mean? We might think we're doing okay because, we're keeping everything up by the skin of our teeth. We're hanging on to everything, but you're neglecting all your responsibilities because you're not giving 100% to your responsibilities. If you're not giving 100%, then you're not doing enough. You could be doing better. Your kids and your wife and your brothers and whoever, they should be getting 100% of you, not just whatever little bit you leave over after you're done getting fucked up. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this shit up. Um, I hope everybody has a good day. Everybody, like I said, if anybody needs to reach out to me, feel free. You can add me on my personal page, um, and I'll add you. And if you ever, need to message me, feel free. Um, I'll respond to you. Might not be right away, but I will get back to you. And just, stay focused on what you're doing that's positive. I'm going to close on positivity. Be positive. Put that energy out to the world and watch it come back. I'm not talking about, give somebody $20 hoping that you'll get 40. I mean, your energy. Put that good energy out there. Put that positivity out there. Don't pay attention to the bullshit. Don't pay attention to the negative shit. Because it doesn't serve you and it's not going to bring you any results in anything in your life. You know what I'm saying? Watch those people. Watch those people that are negative. Watch those people that always got some shit to say about somebody else. Pay attention to them sometimes and see what's going on with them versus the people who put out positivity all the time. And it's not even about gaining shit. It's not even about, you know, what you'll get out of it. It's about being happy. It's like it's contagious. You know what I mean? If you stay positive, if you say positive things and you do positive things and you surround yourself with positive vibes, you can't not be happy. It's impossible. It'll start to rub off. It'll affect the people around you. If you know somebody that's always negative, that's always got something bad to say and blah 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 blah, it's baggage. It's unnecessary. Toxic. Get that shit out your life and watch what happens. You'll be a lot better off. So just keep that in mind. Spread some positivity around, and y'all have a good day.